Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, welcome to the Eagle Talk Show. Bienvenido al Show de las Águilas. And now, please stand and welcome your host, Micah Arreano.
Welcome to the Eagle Talk Show. Can you hold me this, ma'am? There we go. Today, our topic will be challenging our mind, buscando nuestras mentes a una educación, que es bien importante, padres, enfocarse sus hijos en educación. It's so important, parents, so you can focus on your child's dream. And you see this mustache? It's because people ask you, God, you look so different. It's because this month, it's November month. It's men health issues. So if you're out there, man, make sure you get your monthly checkup. So es una organización que un chequeo de salud para los padres, los hombres. Y este bigote es para demostrar que sí podemos hacer chequeo cada mes. It's demonstrating you all, this mustache. I know it's like, wow, you know, the kids in school going, wow. It's because we believe that we do a healthy checkup every month, man. We can do it. Because after all, like I say here, we all say, we're the driver of our own health. But you know what? We're here to learn and be inspired by our guests here. So before we do that, let's all celebrate with some music. They're going to inspire us today. DJ, come on, everybody. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Oh, yeah, you can have that, man. You can have this one now. I know this color, this cap and gown. Thank you. Have a seat. Have a seat. Oh my God, we're here today. Another month of an interesting topic. You know, if we focus on a child, we empower our child to follow that dream through resources that we provide through the show and through the school district. We're honored to have here today our guests from Austin Community College. They're going to give us more information because I believe the foundation for education starts at home and in conversation. Yo pienso que todo comienza en la casa, una plática de un colegio a nuestros hijos. Y vamos a la secundaria, después vamos a la prepa, después vamos al colegio, ¿verdad? Nuestros invitados, aquí de Antonio Gara de Austin Community College, and we have here Imelda Bondeo, ¿verdad? Como diferente acento, ¿verdad? Antonio, bienvenido.
Muchísimas gracias por la invitación.
We're glad to be here. Share what, I'm so excited because Austin Community College is expanding in our community. What are the resources that we can provide as a child, or not only provide, but we can educate parents about to prepare them when they not only get to middle school and high school, but what they need to know about the resources that Austin Community College offers to the community?
Well, this year has been definitely very exciting for Austin Community College. We've been expanding since the beginning of the year. We've had the grand opening of the Hayes campus near Kyle this summer. Many of you know about the grand opening of Highland campus. And
there used to be an old mall, remember that?
Absolutely, and we're revitalizing the community, creating resources so that people have something to go to and educate their young ones, even ourselves as adults. And so what's important is that we do have all of these services available for the community at a cost that is relatively inexpensive compared to a lot of the larger institutions in Central Texas. And so we're definitely excited to be here. We have various topics that we want to talk to you about.
We will do that. Share with me in Spanish.
Pues estamos muy orgullosos de haber sido invitados a este programa. Saben bien que este año Austin Community College, que es una universidad de 2 años, tuvo la gran apertura del plantel de Hayes. Este verano también se llevó a cabo la gran apertura del plantel de Highland, que está ubicado por la Boulevard Airport, el cual tiene el laboratorio de aprendizaje más grande en todo el país, que se conoce como el Accelerator, que es para ofrecer tutoría de matemáticas a las personas que están teniendo problemas con la matemática, ya sea en la preparatoria o cuando están ingresando a la universidad.
Okay. Share with us what programs you have there to offer us.
En ACC Highland específicamente tienen las clases del currículum básico, pero más que nada estamos enfocados en lo que es el Accelerator. Ahora también quiero tomar esta oportunidad para darle las gracias a los electores que salieron a las urnas este mes de noviembre para votar en las proposiciones número 2 y 1 de ACC, las cuales ahora nos van a permitir expandir lo que es ACC Highland y crear más oportunidades de aprendizaje, crear un centro culinario, un programa culinario para nuestros estudiantes, al igual que traer el programa de comunicaciones, radio, televisión y cine a esa área de Highland. Entonces, para nosotros es algo sumamente importante y especialmente ofrecerle a la comunidad, ustedes mismos que son los electores, estos servicios.
Elaborate that in English with us.
We're also getting ready to expand now that the Austin voters voted on Propositions 1 and 2 this past November. And for us, it's an exciting thing because we're going to be seeing the expansion of ACC Highland Campus, which includes the creation of a culinary program within ACC Highland that can be of reputation. And so for us, it's definitely an exciting time. We're getting ready to also renovate the old Rio Grande campus, which is one of our historical buildings in the city of Austin. And all of this was possible because Austin voters and Central Texas voters decided that, it was time. It was time to create upgrades and expand our services to our community.
Imelda, and we get back. Imelda, what do you do with Austin Community College? What is your responsibility?
My duties are to work with students on trying to, once they get admitted into the university, is to get money to help them to go to school.
It takes money to go to school.
It does take money and sometimes a lot of money. So my job is pretty much to help out the students, encourage them to go to school, that there are no reasons for them not to want to go to school money-wise, because there is money. The government offers good money for the students to go, whether it would be through grants, student loans, or scholarships. So my job is pretty much help the students fill out the application, which is known as a FAFSA application. Mm-hmm. And once it's been processed, we determine eligibility, and we get the students the money to go to school.
So, ¿cómo uno puede aplicar para los programas si los padres no tienen los fondos para aplicar en el colegio Austin Community College? Va a terminar la prepa y ahora ¿qué vamos a hacer?
Okay, el primer proceso es saber si quiere el estudiante ir a la escuela. No forzarlo porque los papás quieren que el estudiante vaya. Es enseñarles qué es lo que tiene la universidad, de posibilidad de carreras, ¿verdad? Es ir a hablar con un consejero al principio, hablan con el consejero ya les aconseja, esos son los programas que ofrecemos, ya que el estudiante esté listo para entrar a la escuela o empezar los estudios, es empezar el proceso para la ayuda financiera.
So one of you elaborate with me, and I'll say this, and I can say it in both languages, but the free application for financial students known as FAFSA, financial aid, who qualifies for that? Anybody, Antonio, Imelda, who qualifies for that?
Pretty much, it's available for students whether they're low resources or they have money but they can't afford to pay the entire tuition and fees. A lot what I see through my experience with financial aid is students will not apply assuming that they're not going to be eligible to receive money. I always tell them, don't let that not allow you to apply. You need to focus on school and apply for it, because if it is not a grant that you're eligible to receive, you might be able to get scholarships depending on your grades, and it's very important to focus on school to make sure you have those GPA and good study habits. And pretty much it's just applying for the application, doing the application, whether it's online or going through the institution. But don't let the fact that you don't think you're going not to be eligible or qualified for the assistance not to apply for financial aid.
Because I think sometimes parents, that hinders them to pursue that process. So, Antonio, ¿me puedes explicar en español the qualification for FAFSA? What's the process?
Esencialmente, los estudiantes tienen que empezar desde que están en la preparatoria, empezar a llenar los formularios que están ofrecidos en línea. ¿Cuál es el sitio? Es FAFSA.
FAFSA.ed.gov.
Okay.
Y ahí los estudiantes empiezan el proceso de llenar los formularios, entregar toda la información que se les requiere para la ayuda financiera, pero es sumamente importante que lo hagan con tiempo para que estén preparados para cuando inicie el primer semestre de universidad, ya tengan más o menos un presupuesto de las clases que pueden costear durante ese año escolar y más aparte, pues estar preparados para tomar las clases adecuadas conforme vayan preparándose para su carrera.
So, ¿se prepara un estudiante, los padres, antes que terminen la prepa, meses antes que terminen la prepa? ¿O qué, cómo es el gobierno? ¿Qué es lo
El proceso se empieza en enero.
Enero.
Enero antes que vaya a terminar el estudiante de escuela, ¿verdad? Es basado en los ingresos de los padres. So, si necesitan tener sus impuestos listos para poder llenar la aplicación.
So basically, when they're completing the last year of the school for high school, it's either started like in November to process that, and it's really depend on the earnings of if they live with a parent.
Yes.
What if the child's homeless? How does that work? Do you know how that works?
Yes, the federal government does offer assistance for students that are homeless. The high schools, if they're still in high school, the McKinney-Vento Act will allow the students to be able to apply for financial aid based on their income and not on their parents if they're homeless, pretty much. They could be living with their parents, but their parents are homeless as well.
Right.
They're living with their relatives or they're in a shelter. That allows them to apply for federal aid.
Share with
as
me
well.
another, and we're going to get back to other, because I'm excited with all these programs that y'all offer to the community. It's Defer Action for Childhood Arrival, which is DACA. Anybody, elaborate, what is it?
Well, I can go ahead and begin with that. Essentially, it's deferred action, which was something that the Obama administration enacted a while back, and it allows undocumented students who are interested in getting a higher ed, but there's a specific time period that they're required to have lived in the States. They also have to show that they were enrolled in the local schools, but of course, just because you're undocumented doesn't mean that you can't go to school. There's always that opportunity.
And that's a challenge we all deal with.
One of the things that ACC does, we have what's called the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, which is spearheaded by Alejandra Polchik, and she offers DACA sessions every semester.
So she does the workshops at the campuses, or if there's a possibility with our local Austin Independent School Parent Support Specialist to engage parents, to do the training at their campuses. I mean, we're open and suggesting that, and I guess we can,
And you know what? Actually, Alejandra has been working with some of the high schools.
That's good.
Lanier High School. We also work very closely with our partners high schools for early college start, early college high school, which are Reagan and LBJ in the audience.
We have the next segment, Reagan, here.
And so for us, it's important for the community to know that if you're an undocumented student or you have a child who's undocumented, that there are opportunities out there. It's just about getting informed and getting everything lined up, knowing what process to take. And during these sessions, ACC brings in experts, attorneys from the local area that can guide them. We don't process any DACA documentation. However, we do provide those experts that we can connect you with.
I'm telling him to share with us in Spanish, because sometimes we live here for a long time, and families, and then they really want, I think that they're really interesting, the parent, to pursue their dreams. But somehow we're not aware, the awareness of the resources, aware of the process. So, conversa con nosotros, ¿qué es DACA?
DACA es lo que le llaman la acción diferida que fue implementada por la administración Obama, esencialmente permitiéndole a los estudiantes que son indocumentados poder continuar sus sueños de conseguir una educación superior. Y por supuesto que la institución de Austin Community College es una universidad que no discrimina. Queremos ayudarle a todos los tipos de estudiantes que están en el área para que puedan lograr sus sueños, sus objetivos, poder educarse y obtener una educación superior. Por lo cual es importante que acudan a estas sesiones de DACA que tenemos cada semestre, que son ofrecidas por la Oficina de Diversidad e Inclusión de ACC, que son bajo nuestra colega que se llama Alejandra Polchik. Ella lo que hace, trae expertos, abogados para ofrecer asesoramiento conforme el estudiante va aplicando para el proceso de FAFSA. De hecho, quería invitar a Imelda que nos hable, porque para los estudiantes que son indocumentados, existe otra forma que pueden llenar para obtener ayuda financiera que se llama la TAFSA.
Comparta.
Sí, el estado de Texas permite que los estudiantes vayan a la universidad, en cualquier universidad del estado de Texas, ¿verdad? Y paguen los estudios basados en residentes del estado de Texas, que es el costo más bajo, ¿verdad? Pero a la misma vez pueden aplicar para becas gratis que el estado ofrece. El proceso para eso se llena la aplicación TASFA, que la pueden encontrar con los consejeros en las high schools o con las universidades y los colegios. The state of Texas allows undocumented students to go to school and pay in-state tuition and fees, as well as be eligible or qualify to receive financial aid through state assistance.
That's amazing.
They're not eligible for federal assistance because they're not legal residents, but because they have finished the education in the state of Texas, they are able to apply for state assistance, state assistance, which will allow them to pay for tuition and fees to school and possibly purchase their books.
Now, Imelda, when they go through the process, do they have a temporarily Social Security, Antonio, Imelda? How does that work?
These students do not have a Social Security number unless they've been approved to go through the deferred action.
Okay.
So the institutions will provide them with a number, a student ID number that they can use through that particular institution, and that allows them to go to school. It doesn't allow them for working purposes or any other thing. It's only pretty much for educational purposes.
And it's interesting because tonight, I know the show will be later on, but tonight, President Obama will have share with us, with our nation, about what the process, especially undocumented potential scholars, that they want to get back to our society through their potential talent and being to finish that dream in college or university. So we have also, ACC has early college programs. Share with us the other programs they have that go into schools. Antonio.
Yes, so we have two different programs, which is Early College High School and Early College Start, that we work with the local school districts. Early College Start is a program that allows students to take several credit courses that are of college level to be able to accumulate credit before they graduate high school. And Early College High School is a program that we have two high schools that we're working with currently here in Austin, which are LBJ and Reagan High School, where the students are actually sort of given that reality of being in college. And they take those courses, and many of them have actually almost obtained their full associate's degrees.
That's amazing.
By the time they graduate high school.
It's like these programs where we're growing up, right? Because it saves dollar to dollar. Les ahorra a nosotros de padres dólar por dólar cuando estamos focando en la educación. And then we have also community partnerships that educate the parents. Like one of our sponsors here, it's A+ Federal Credit Union, that goes to the schools and financial literacy, which is very important. They have a phenomenal program in different schools, and they help to educate the parents to save and get ready when the child is going to college or trade school. I believe every child has to have the opportunity to fulfill that dream. It's a 4-year college, 2-year college, trade school, but something, not just staying home and then depending on the parent. And it's about that dream. It's not as an adult's dream. It's about the child fulfilling that dream.
And you know what, Micah, I was going to say, since we're talking about the child fulfilling their dream, we also have dreams for parents, because there's parents that want to go back to school.
Yeah, definitely.
And for us, especially at ACC, some of the biggest questions that we always get is about our ESL and our ESOL courses, los programas de cursos para inglés como segundo idioma. Y es algo que pues recibimos muchas preguntas al respecto. Tenemos dos diferentes programas. El primero, como saben, se llama ESL, que es inglés como segundo idioma. Este básicamente es un programa que ACC ofrece gratuitamente, pero existe un espacio limitado y es para los padres de familia que apenas están aprendiendo inglés o que no saben absolutamente nada de inglés. Pero si usted es alguien que ya tiene algún dominio del inglés y quiere desarrollarlo para continuar sus estudios universitarios, entonces nosotros le recomendamos que se inscriba a lo que le llaman el ESOL. En inglés es conocido como English for Speakers of Other Languages. Entonces, este programa esencialmente lo que permite a las personas es que aprendan el inglés apropiadamente para poder empezar a tomar clases que son ya del currículum para obtener el asociado universitario de ACC. Para cualquiera de los dos, ya sea ESL o ESOL, la persona tiene que tomar un examen en cualquier plantel de ACC en donde tratan de determinar cuál es su nivel de inglés. Entonces ya ahí mismo se dan cuenta si usted califica para el programa de ESL o el programa de ESOL.
¿Hay costo? ¿Hay un costo?
Y es lo que iba a decir. El programa de ESOL es un programa de crédito. Entonces, la persona recibe crédito universitario porque ya te estás preparando para la universidad. Entonces, en torno, la persona califica para la ayuda financiera.
Okay.
Y si hay ayuda financiera, no tienes que ser un estudiante que haya terminado la high school, puede ser un padre de familia, adulto que quiere ir regresar a la escuela, hay ayuda financiera también.
Y
Nada más el proceso.
Comienzan, las matrículas comienzan cuando, el septiembre o agosto, ¿cuándo puede uno hacer la matrícula, aplicar para los programas? ¿Entre el año o...?
Pues ahorita específicamente ya empezamos nuestra registración para lo que es el semestre de la primavera. La persona que esté interesada en inscribirse ahí sí lo puede hacer a través del sitio web. Todo se hace a través del sitio web hoy en día. Saben bien que la tecnología está apoderándose de nuestra sociedad. Entonces se hace todo en línea. Es el www.austencc.edu y ahí le muestran los pasos a seguir para registrarse. Si usted va a ser un estudiante de crédito, tiene que registrarse, traer la transcripción de la preparatoria, lo equivalente, el GED, pero en el caso de las clases de ESL que no requieren tanto requisito, entonces de igual manera tiene que acudir a uno de los planteles a tomar el examen.
Imelda, el programa de, si hay los niños que no están en programas en la escuela como College Readiness, y no aplicaron o no aceptaron para los colegios, ¿cómo responde a Austin Community College? ¿Qué es el proceso? Como ya se termina el año, ¿verdad? De estar ya la prepa terminando. No aplicó, pero no lo aceptaron a ese estudiante en un colegio. ¿Qué son los requisitos de Austin Community College para que el estudiante pueda aplicar?
Bueno, ya que el estudiante terminó la preparatoria, tendrán que ir a ver a un advisor o un consejero para que les dé la información de cómo empezar la escuela. Nada más tienen que entregar la copia de la diploma o del high school transcript diciendo que terminaron la escuela. Tenemos muchos estudiantes que por cualquier razón, será que no pueden ir directamente a una universidad o no tienen el dinero para empezar en la universidad, empiezan en el ACC. Okay. Toman sus cursos básicos en el ACC y los se transfieren a una universidad de 4 años. Okay. Y eso es muy común.
Y es bueno que mencionas esto porque ACC tiene el porcentaje más alto de transferencias a universidades de 4 años. Entonces las personas, por eso es que nuestro lema es Start Here, Get There, empieza aquí, llega lejos. Y la mayoría de nuestros estudiantes empiezan con ACC y luego después se transfieren a Texas State, la Universidad de Texas, qué sé yo, UT San Antonio. Entonces las opciones están aquí, pero a la misma vez los estudiantes están pagando los primeros 2 años de universidad a un costo muchísimo más bajo. De hecho, somos una institución educativa que cuesta un 74% menos que cualquier universidad del área.
Y eso es lo que pasa, que la gente, si no ahorra o no puede cualificar a los programas, es lo que hace, yo creo que se rechaza uno para no seguir el sueño. Y como ustedes, como sus consejeros, también esta puede aplicar para becas. ¿Se puede aplicar becas y también parte de los servicios financieros del gobierno en el mismo tiempo?
Sí, las becas vienen del gobierno. The Federal Pell Grant viene del gobierno de los Estados Unidos. Pero a la misma vez también hay becas particulares, which are scholarships, y también hay becas del estado de Texas, which are state grants.
¿Puedo pagar? ¿Qué se paga o no se paga en los programas? Porque cualificó a la persona, se pagan al último, termina el colegio. ¿Cómo son? Si vuelve el colegio, muchos estudiantes van al colegio y recordar también que hay un balance. ¿Cuánto tiempo el gobierno les da a ellos para comenzar a pagar o pueden pagar mientras que estén en la escuela para esos que cualificaron con los programas del gobierno?
Lo que se llama grants, que son becas, esos son dinero gratis.
Okay.
El dinero se lo da el gobierno para que vayan a terminar sus estudios, ¿verdad? Lo que sí se tiene que pagar para atrás, si acaso van a pedir préstamos que se le llaman student loans.
Okay.
Eso es algo que se tiene que pagar para atrás para el gobierno. Y normalmente eso se comienza a pagar para atrás 6 meses después que el estudiante deja de estudiar o termina sus estudios.
Share that with us.
Okay. Anything that's grants, it's free, whether it's federal funded or state funded. Scholarships, again, they're free. The one thing that you do have to repay back are student loans. There are low interest student loans, but you do have to repay them back once you stop going to school 6 months later, or you graduate from the university or the college. 6 months later, the government starts billing you for those student loans back. They want to get their money back.
What do you recommend to parents, Antonio, about their child's dream?
For me, especially if you have a child that will be the first in your family to go to college, is just, I know sometimes you can't help them academically because you just don't know the material, but I think the most important thing that a parent can ever do is give them that emotional support, that they can do it, that you're there the entire process, and go to the meetings, talk to the counselors, talk to your teachers while you're in grade school, and have that connection with your child, because they have to believe that you care about their higher education as much as they do, because a lot of times, you know, they're going through that phase in life where they're still trying to figure out what they want to do, and many times, you know, us as young people, we deal with so many peer pressures and we don't know what to do, and who better than our own parents to give us that guidance and that to give us assurance that we can pursue our dreams. And so, just like in my case, both of my parents weren't able to go to college, but my mom was there every meeting. Mi mamá está en cada junta de la escuela.
Qué importante la educación.
Aunque no entendía la materia, pero ella estaba. Sí. Entonces, para mí fue una bendición que mi mamá me apoyara desde que era pequeño.
Imelda, unas buenas palabras para el público, en inglés y en español, para consejo para los padres que lo escuchan hoy.
El querer es el poder. Y como dice Antonio, como padres de familia hay que soportar a nuestros estudiantes, nuestros hijos, decirles que sí se puede ir a la universidad. No dejen que el dinero sea una razón de que no van a poder terminar sus estudios, porque sí hay ayuda financiera.
Y en diferentes formas.
Oh, sí, en diferentes formas. Sí. En inglés es, if you want to reach your dreams, you can do it. You can do that as a parent. Support your child or student as far as you can. Don't let money be the issue for you not going to school, because there is money available. It's just a matter of taking the time to do the paperwork.
Well, we want to thank Antonio and also for being here today with Austin Community College. And bienvenidos a ustedes los dos para estar aquí en este tema que hemos, un sueño, en sueños para impulsar a nuestros hijos en sueño. Le damos gracias a Austin Community College. Imelda, muchas gracias. Antonio, un aplauso para los invitados. Stay tuned. We'll be back. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. We'll be right back with Sendero Healthy Minute. Thank you. Welcome to Healthy Minute, brought to you by Sendero. Today we'll talk about washing our hands and why is it important. A, stop the germs. B, stay healthy. C, we succeed in school. After all, we're the driver of our health. Hey guys, good to see you. Wait a minute. Are we forgetting something? We gotta wash our hands. Turn around.
Soap and water, soap and water, soap and water, soap and water. Wash your hands with soap and water. Wash your hands with soap and water. Faucet on, water flows. Get it nice and warm. Then grab that soap, lather up, scrub up to your arms. Count to 10, count again. Keep those bubbles showing. When you're done, rinse them off. Time to dry
Welcome to the Eagle Talk Show, second segment, Challenging Our Mind, because we're going to challenge our mind about higher education. Before we introduce our second segment guest, I got to introduce you all about the Eagle Talk Show Book Club. Every month we're going to have a book club because I believe reading to our kids is very important. But our first book club book is our dear friend Cristina Saralegui from Miami. So either you go to our website, www.eagletalkshow.com, or call us to join the book club. Oh my God, we're excited here because we have here our guest from Johnny Reagan Early College High School. We have a director here, Annabelle Garza. We have Jennifer, that she's a director, assistant director from Reagan High School. Welcome to the Eagle Talk Show.
Thank you.
Isn't it wonderful? Did you know that? Did you all know that Hispanics is the largest, fastest growing minority group? It represents 60% of our nation population between 2005 to 2016. That comes from the United States Department of Education. How's Reagan doing? Phenomenal stuff y'all doing.
Yes. The trajectory at our school is straight up. And so we've been working hard with our students, getting them ready for courses at early college, which means that they can start in the summer of their 8th grade year, taking and preparing for courses to start in the fall of their freshman year.
Oh my God. I know. How did the idea early college high school came about?
Well, when you look at our population sometimes struggles because they are first-generation college goers and they have not watched a brother or sister or parent go to college before, and many times they feel as though it's an impossibility to go to college. And it's very possible. We just have to expose our students to opportunities, and then they will know that they're very capable of going on to college.
And educating our parents out there.
Absolutely.
To the value of education. And I said to the first segment, it's whatever their dreams are, 2-year, 4-year college, something to get them back into the work enforcement. Not only the work enforcement, but also become leaders in our community. That's very key. Annabelle, versus a high school that has no college readiness versus what you all have, what's the difference?
The difference is that from day one, we start preparing our students for the experience. Very, very important to start building the mentality and the capacity to understand what the process looks like. Ms. Mendez here was able to live that. She brought her student to our school as a freshman.
Wow.
And she's now a proud parent of a student in college. And he went through, although he started before we started the program, he was able to take advantage of some of those courses. So as a parent and a person who works at her school, she strongly believes in our program.
You got to be that leader.
Yes, lead by example.
The example, the dream of that child needs that. What are the AP classes? Are there same as that college classes?
So our AP program is intense and rigorous, and that's a program that exists all over. A student takes the course, and at the end of the course can test. So those programs together, the early college and the AP program, complement themselves sometimes, because when a student is not able to travel off campus, they have the opportunity to take an AP course on campus, so they can do both at the same time.
So when they go to Austin Community College, is there transportation available, Jennifer?
Yes.
Okay.
Free transportation. A bus comes in at the middle of the day to pick up our students to take them to ACC. Some of the students are allowed to transport themselves as they have licenses and they have jobs or they have to come back to band. So our students have very complicated, busy lives. We tell them if you are successful at John H. Reagan Early College High School, college will be a breeze.
I commend you. I don't know how you did it. Have you all the team, from the parent support specialists to your custodians, everybody. You have been the program's been around 4 years? Somewhere?
Yes.
Has changed. It's amazing. How's that?
The climate of the school has drastically changed. Although we've always had high expectations, I think turning the climate around for an entire community is quite difficult. But setting the standard high and never dropping it, just meeting our kids where they are and bringing them up to those expectations has been key. And all members of our team, from just community members to staff to teachers, central office support has been intense in trying to change the climate, and it's an extremely different climate now with students very focused on their futures.
How do you impact parental involvement? How you address those? I mean, I see the change already.
Even last night, we use every opportunity to train our parents in every way. Last night, we just had our Stand Up for Reagan dinner, and it's what empowered us to, those community events are what empowered us to stay open a few years ago. It was because of the voice of the community and the parents saying, we need more, our students deserve more. And last night was just simply about, how do we get access to our students' grades? What is cyberbullying?
Yeah.
What are some of the pitfalls that my students are running into? As a parent of a high schooler, I commend parents who are not educators and are still there side by side. I don't know how I would have survived as a parent of a high schooler without being embedded in education. I struggled. We still, hours before my student was walking into his first class, he said, my classes are blocked.
Yeah.
Oops, we didn't sign something. Right. So there's pitfalls for all of us, regardless of whether we're the second generation or first generation. Every generation is going to face other things.
And I believe this, and Annabelle and Jennifer, I believe that when we reach to our community building relationships, and I believe we have to have long-lasting relationships with the school district, not only as sponsors, as investors, but also a parent engagement relationships. Because we need to know our population, first of all. Walk the neighborhood. I always say to people, walk the neighborhood. Teachers, walk the neighborhood. Do the neighborhood walk. And know who you're going to impact in the future, who you're going to inspire. Once you begin to know that, I think we build relationships with the parents, with the community. And that's what I think what you all have done. It's you all go reach that. And you are modeled for our school district to show that everything is possible to build relationships. Does your program is same to other programs and other schools?
No, we are unique in that we can offer college coursework. Every high school can offer college coursework. We can start off as a freshman. So we're going into middle schools now.
Wow.
To test, to see what our student needs so that we can design our summer programming so that when they walk in August 26th or 27th, they are enrolled in a college course.
So you mentioned a middle school, so you go prior to the following year, you go what do you do in the middle school? So you go talk to parents, what do y'all do?
We have a program to inform parents and students of what we offer at our school and what opportunities and how much money they can save in starting at an early college high school. And so we have partnerships with our vertical team, feeder schools, and our administrators are assigned to provide that vertical team with information so that parents can prepare. So it's a traveling roadshow because it's better to see. You know, when you see it to believe it, you have to see it. And so our students are our best ambassadors. Once and they're part of the learning process at our school, so they themselves can go out and convince their community of what they themselves have experienced and the benefits they get from coming to our school. So there's no better ambassadors than our own students and our own families and parents. So we try to keep them informed so they can spread the word throughout the community.
I think one thing that I've been to your facility, to your school, and the thing that amazes me when I walk in there, customer service. It's been a process, I'm sure, but he has wow, that's what I want to see. And every school has a very unique leadership, but I think in order to continue building relationships, lasting relationship with the school district and with our community is to improve our customer service, training, our front office, training everybody, because our goal is to build lasting relationships in our community, and that's it. So, what would be your best advice? And you can share that in Spanish, whatever it is. As a child is going to middle school, ¿qué recomiendas tú, Annabelle, el padre para que se pare en la secundaria? Si va a Reagan.
Sí, recomiendo que los padres les den información a sus estudiantes que es posible tener éxito si juntos trabajan a esa meta. Entonces, lean con sus estudiantes o requieren a sus estudiantes que estudien todas las noches, que levanten un libro, que lean, que les den opiniones, platiquen con sus estudiantes. Conversations with students are critical with parents and students. Constant communication. Deles saber a sus estudiantes que esperan de ellos y tengan una situación estructurada para que ellos no se salgan del camino que es necesario para tener éxito. So the goals that a parent sets for together with a student, they're to walk the walk with the student through high school. It's not a time to let the students go, like, oh, they're grown now, let them go. It's a time to stay side by side. Daily communication is crucial.
I'll add that parents really need to make sure to investigate any summer programming from K through 12.
Because the foundation starts there.
Sabemos que si no participan en nada en el verano, se atrasan varios años. A los estudiantes que van a tutoría, van a campos, no hay por qué, entiendo que todos necesitan vacaciones, pero limiten esas vacaciones porque se están atrasando años.
Yo digo que como estaba entrevistando a Antonio y también ellos tienen programa Austin Community College en el verano para los niños que están en pre-K hasta quinto. Es la oportunidad para padres que se enfoquen en la oportunidad. No más, se terminó la escuela este año, vamos a hacer. Y hay que enfocarlos. A leer es importante. Por eso comenzamos el book club, el club de leer libros, porque si leímos 30 minutos con nuestros hijos, mejoramos su sueño, que es bien importante. I have another question for you. How many students are taking the advantage of this opportunity with this collaboration with Austin Community College?
We have 100 students right now enrolled in college coursework, taking anywhere from 3 to 9 hours right now.
Wow.
We've qualified 43 additional students, of freshmen, so that in the spring semester in January, we will have a minimum of 140 students enrolled in college. Last year, seniors had 1 year less of what this incoming class will have. They completed over 800 hours of college hours as a class.
Very interesting.
Yes. And I'd like to add that although whether they're in an ACC course or a UT class that we have, or any college credit course, if they're not in that, they're preparing for. So we have many classes set up to prepare to start to take the course. So, and there's a test that you have to pass, the TSI test, which is a readiness standard. And so once you pass that, you can start the college courses. But let's say that it takes you more than a year and you can't start as a freshman. Our goal is to get even the student with very challenging gaps ready to start college as a senior when they get out, so that they are prepared to go to college. And some of them will say, well, Ms. Garza, I don't want to go to college. And I said, but you don't want not to be prepared to go to college when you graduate. Because if you decide in May of that year that you do want to go to college and you're not prepared, that's very sad. So we want to make sure that all our kids are prepared. And so we have many classes to support those efforts.
So, and let's go back. You said in middle school, and we have different programs with the school district. We had AVIT, which is phenomenal. Some districts nationwide, they start at elementary. And I think if the funding will be available, starts there. It's a path. And we're a Reagan vertical team, and a lot of audience. There's vertical teams in the school district. Crockett vertical team and Reagan vertical team. All those align to some advanced academically dreams for scholars, for the students to walk through that path. But the Reagan is very neat because we have with Dobie's part of that, middle school. And we have Walnut Creek, we have also Graham and Hart, and all those walk to path. If the child or the parents will listen to this today, the resources you provide, the idea would be wonderful for that child to be prepared when they graduate high school, to not only graduate high school diploma, but have also a associate degree that saves money to the family.
We're even providing field trips for parents to be able to go to a college campus because oftentimes, and especially in Hispanic households, we're afraid to let our kids go. And so we say, oh,
Quédate aquí,
no,
quédate aquí.
mijita is staying home because she
staying here.
cannot go. But a parent has never been on a college campus or has never experienced that. We're providing those opportunities so that they can be familiar with what that looks like and what they need to start working on at birth. From birth, you start promoting literacy so a student can be prepared. We don't want to get students that are behind grade levels. We want to get students ready to go when they hit high school.
Most of the time, people, and it has to, I don't know whether it's just their part of the culture, part of whatever it might be. When they start at pre-K, either the child knows the basic phonics, it will advance that child academically. And I always tell the parents, you have the responsibility. You chose to have a child, have a responsibility. It's not dropping the child at school and let the administrators and education system handle that. Somehow we have to collaborate and build a relationship. Una manera, cuando tenemos en precolegio, tenemos hijos, la responsabilidad es que focar la educación de nuestros hijos. No más llegar al niño a la escuela, dejar al niño a la escuela, es cuando comienza el niño antes de pre-K, puede unas palabras o letras para mejorar a ese estudiante su carrera de educación. ¿Cierto? Es bien importante. And we see that, we've seen so much research. If the child learns the basic before they start pre-K or school, it's already stimulating that dream and that path for the higher education. I have a question here. I will say this. What are the largest numbers of credit earned in the students in early college, the program that you have?
Last year, our highest was 37. This will be, yes.
That's a wow because,
and this year we expect
Amazing.
Anywhere from 40 to 60. Okay. 66 requires the associate, so.
So that's what it requires, the associate, that's required that. So did you go to the ceremony besides the high school, or they go to the ceremony with ACC, Austin Community College, or does it go, how does it work?
So this is our first year. This is the first graduating class that
Really?
started when they were freshmen.
Oh, wow.
And so even last year, students were taking advantage of, although they didn't get to their associates, they had a large number of hours. And so this year will be the first. And so right as we speak during this time, we're talking about how will we acknowledge those students at our graduation. So there's a plan in being decided on right now as to how we're going to especially identify early college, high school students at graduation.
It's just
by both
amazing.
partners.
Yeah, and it's a partnership, and it's the impact of whatever y'all decide for the results of that. Graduating high school, and I'm graduating associate degree.
Yes.
I'm still paying my student loans.
Right.
Some of us didn't have that privilege.
Right.
The programs were not developed due to the funding or whatever. But now there's an opportunity for us as parents to engage our child's dream. Es una oportunidad para ustedes, que hay oportunidad para toda la gente que los escucha ahí, a platicar con los administradores de la escuela, de la secundaria, la prepa. Mi hijo tiene una carrera, qué es la información, qué son los programas que está aplicar mi hijo o mi hija para esos programas, para que llegue a la prepa, ya está preparado, ya tomó las pruebas. Is there any charge for taking any test?
There is absolutely no charge. We are a testing site, so the students can take their TSI test. If they were not with us, yes, there is a charge for that test that they would have to take when they're starting college. And so that's advantage. There are no fees for the books, which is a very large fee. Absolutely. And then there are no charges for the coursework. So it's a very beneficial program for our community.
And so transportation is free. The whole course is free. What if a child comes from in a different area to come wants to benefit the program? Is that allowed, or?
We are open to transfers as well from other places, and so they just follow the AISD transfer policy. There would not be transportation from another part of town, but oftentimes parents work in our area.
How big is your campus?
We have 1,200 students, close to 1,300. and it's steadily growing. So hurry and start early college.
Start college. It's gonna get
Before first come, first serve.
First, yeah. It's an opportunity that as we become aware of what the school districts and different campuses provide, I think our community is getting aware and say, I want to take that opportunity, what it takes opportunity. But before we take that opportunity, I think it's very important that as a parent to build those relationships and be leaders. I always say this, Annabelle, I always say that let's ask what we can do for our community, not what the community can do for us. It gets better. Let's ask our educational system what we can do for it, not what we're asking for them, because it's a partnership. Entienden que no más se pedir a la comunidad la educación, ¿quién me va a dar la educación? No, que pudimos nosotros también involucrar nuestros padres a la educación, que es bien importante. Es como, ¿qué puedo dar yo? Ser voluntario. Eso es lo que digo yo, voluntario es bien importante. 30 minutos, una hora, es que bien importante. Being as a leader in your campus, volunteer, 30 minutes, an hour, it's just phenomenal on just being part of that. And that's, again, we talked about building relationships in a community. Jennifer, anything you want to share with us that's going on campus?
Oh, on campus, so much is going on. We're just constantly moving forward. I think the biggest thing to brag on is our staff and faculty. They're working tirelessly, many hours. We're constantly looking at ways to try to give them little treats of motivation because they are working side by side with our students. I think they're the model student. Our kids think, oh, well, you were an A student. Mm-hmm. No, we had failures. We made sure we had staff members that had failures because that way they can walk through kids like, look, this is how you walk through when we didn't pass everything. We struggled. This is how you get over the struggle. But that's a lot of work. So they're very tired and they work. And the kids love and build relationships with our faculty.
I think the biggest thing to talk about is the redemption. Mm-hmm. We have a philosophy of redemption, and if the goal is to hit a standard, we don't accept anything but that. So if you fail the first time, how is it that you're going to grapple and attack that problem from a different way? So our teachers walk side by side with our students to teach them, try again, try again. And it's a lot of work for teachers because we won't ask you the same question in the same way twice. Yeah. So we have to think about how are we asking that question so that the student grapples with that problem, so that our student becomes a problem solver, not just a student that accepts, the status quo. And so if you fail, how many times are we going to say, how many times do you say no to a student? You never say no to a student. Like, how many times are you going to allow them to try? Yeah. It is. Yeah. It's our job to figure what is the key to this kid and what is it that we're going to have to do. And I say to our teachers all the time, you don't rate yourself as a teacher by how many failures you have in your class. It's how many kids can you bring to an understanding about what you're teaching. That makes you a teacher. And so the more failures you have, you don't win a badge because my class is very hard.
We didn't go to school to become educators.
No. And so that's a different philosophy that we have is how many ways can you bring understanding to a student when they don't get it the very first time? And so we don't let you fall. We're like the Marines. Yeah, no student left behind.
You have an ROTC there, Jay.
Absolutely.
Yes. Did you know that I was in ROTC my freshman, sophomore, junior year, and that disciplined me because I was going to be a dropout, child. And my mom said, you need to get there, no matter what you can do it. And elaborate with us. How is that working?
It's a great structure. They are our biggest ambassadors, of course, on campus. We know we can always count on our Air Force ROTC with Colonel in Chief, and the kids are just wonderful. There's not enough to say about them. They are all A and B students. They're just the model student, along with all our other programs. I think the uniqueness of ourselves and LBJ, I will say LBJ, is that we are a comprehensive high school. So our kiddos are not only taking... Yes. Well, we won't talk about it.
I won't talk about you all today. We'll talk about you today.
But our kids can be in band. Our kids can be in football. Our kids can be in basketball. And we are the 2 high schools in the state of Texas that are allowed to do that. And our kids love band. Our kids love those things. They are our representatives across the board, our soul strutters.
That demonstrated when I think Roberto Rivera, when he was there a month ago, the participant, and he just broke it down to that level. Sometimes I think as educators, we have to come to that level of understanding of the child, not only the social, emotional learning. And I think if we begin to grasp on that, the social, emotional learning, we get it. We can work with that population. Sometimes when I train, as we graduate and focus to be educators, and I would say there should be some curriculums in the universities as you come in to exit your, as being an educator, somewhere the basic stuff of social and psychologically, so we can understand the population. Because we go and it's all book, but when we come to the reality, wow, and it takes devotion. It takes devotion to be an educator. It's not the pay, as we all know that. It's because we believe. As somebody, I was interviewed about a month ago. I met Oprah, and most of you all know that. And briefly, the conversation was, what got you to this path as a show? To inspire people, parents, to fulfill that dream. And through the inspiration that we bring guests, to funnel those conversations, because I believe that a child has potential. When I hear somebody saying, maybe an educator is not awareness, said, there's no way for this child to understand. There is a way. We gotta, like you said, we gotta figure it out.
They are only as good as the adults that surround them. You have expectations, the child will reach those expectations, and it's up to the adults around to figure out what is the best exposure that we can give these students so that they can, rise to the occasion, and they will. And they will expect it, and they will do it.
Because everything is impossible. Before we close up in a couple of minutes, at what age can a child begin to take the college level? And I think we talked about,
Yes, as soon as they pass their TSI, when they come in as a freshman, they're able to start the courses.
Okay, and that would be what? That middle school? 14, 15. Anything you want to share with us before we come to a closure?
Oh, goodness. So much. Come visit. Come visit. We're an open campus.
They're inviting you folks. They're inviting you. And they have an open door policy, inviting them. Just amazing what y'all doing. Continue sharing anything for parents out there.
It's just important to develop a healthy adult for them to be well-rounded. So I think our school offers that opportunity, and it's unique to the state because we are one of the first, the other being here in the city too, that is offered to everybody. It's an expectation for everybody to become prepared to be the best that you can be. And so just supporting that along the way is what we do. And so you'll see from Reagan High School, we're shooting straight to the top, and in the years to come.
I look forward to visiting y'all for that graduation.
It'll be beautiful.
I would like to film one of these days, part of what the kids go to Austin Community College. We're open for that, and I'll be working with the consultant to go with us and just film, because I like to see results. We all like results. So let's thank our guest today that it's empowering us to the inspirational words. We have with Reagan, Johnny Reagan, Early College High School. Jennifer, thank you for being here. Annabelle, thank you. Un aplauso, por favor. And before we leave, I want to give you this, because now our sponsor has been so wonderful with Sendero. You're officially now the driver of your bus.
All right.
So here's one of you here.
Thank you.
But it gets good. Remember, the book club starts this coming month. Again, to Rise and Shine with Cristina Saralegui. Book starts already. Sponsors pay for these books. You got to call us, let us know, because there will be limited for book clubs every month. It's wonderful. We're going to read it next in November and December, and then January for that. You get books, because I love our parents to read to their kids constantly. So you get books here from Book Spring. You're going to get those. You're going to get those books right here. And un aplauso. Follow us at theeagletalkshow.com. And remember, you are the driver of your child's bus. Acuérdate, usted el chofer del autobús de sus hijos. Los quiero, los vemos, con mucho amor, los vemos. Thank you.